guys, welcome to the Comexposed Podcast. My name is Charlene. I will be replacing Jerry for today's episode. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it. Unfortunate for me. Who knows? Could be my big break. But anyways, my name is Charlene, and welcome to the podcast show.
Yeah, I am the artist known as Africa's.png.
I am also an artist who goes by Sit Sensei.
Word.
Yeah.
Long names, long intros, hey.
Bro, it all has to be long, man. It all has to be long.
Okay.
All right.
So anyways.
Yes, continuing.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Is diversity and inclusion killing mainstream media?
That's a good question. I'd say,
Yes.
wow, that's
That was so quick,
wild,
bro.
bro.
Why?
Yeah, why? Why you say yes?
No, I said just simply because I wanted to oppose you. But in retrospect, it's not what is actually killing mainstream media. There are a lot of reasons why diversity and inclusion is said to kill mainstream media. One of them being my personal friend and longtime enemy, bad writing. Yeah, I see you, bad writing. You tend to see that a lot of these shows with diversity and inclusion, right? Be it an African-based show, short film, or even a Hollywood-based show, or Hollywood-based film, right? It tends to have very interesting concepts, right? We've all seen those movies, right? Where it has a very interesting premise, very interesting characters, right? However, with the way that they are either written or with the way that they are introduced, it makes them feel so bland, forced, cringe, upsetting, all of those bad words and more. And I dislike that kind of thing because understand that we have a lot of colorful people out there, man. We have a lot of interesting people, right? We have a lot of, I'd say, interesting characters, right? Both from, the African continent as well as
Everywhere else.
everywhere else, whether it is
It's just
ethnicity,
Africa,
yeah,
everywhere else.
yes, whether it's ethnicity, whether it's race, religion, sex, sexual orientation, etc., etc. We have those interesting characters, but the way that they're introduced, the way that they're represented, doesn't sit well with me.
Okay.
Does not sit well with me.
What specifically would you say creates this thing of bad writing? What do you say sets apart bad writing from good writing,
Firstly is to introduce your character as a human being rather than to say, oh, we have a token black character. We all have those token black characters in movies.
Wait, so you've watched a film where in the introduction the person walked up as hey yo, I'm the token black guy, or is that?
I mean, it wasn't blurred out by the character, but you can tell that the shot itself is blurring that person out as that said person, right? Rather than to humanize the said person.
What's the difference between humanizing them and then the other thing?
To represent them, right, is to integrate that kind of background, right? They grew up, or they kind of had experiences that made them into a said person, right? Right? Maybe they're influenced by said things. Again, regardless of religion, sexual orientation, race, and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has that kind of thing that makes them them, right? So if you kind of fortify, or should I say solidify, right, that kind of background, that kind of influences, right, into this human character, then you can make them into a very likable character rather than to be okay, this background is who they are, right? They don't have likes, they don't have dislikes, they don't have...
I see.
Yes. That's when that character gets killed off. Then that's when you have Hollywood big boys going you see what I mean by diversity is killing off. It's any time, yes. I feel like there's more to it than that, but for me, that's what it is.
So you're saying that the person isn't an interesting person before they are a gay person or a black person or an Asian person.
Yes, let them be interesting. Let them have conflicts. Let them have goals. Let them have...
I see.
Yes. I mean, we are human at the end of the day, are we not? We're not like dogs who have other goals that are not ours, but we'll go to that later. But yeah.
What do you mean dogs don't have goals?
I said we'll go to that later. They're not ours. They're not human goals now, are they?
Okay. That's totally fair.
Because I know my dog, his goal is to get to that bone.
Bro,
the way that they dig though.
Dude stares at my plate like we're friends.
You see?
Honestly. It doesn't ever make sense.
All right, so your beef is with writers just chucking
Not necessarily
person.
writers themselves, but writing.
Just
Yes.
chucking in a character just.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a very good point, because sometimes the writing isn't a fault of the writers.
Yes.
Like, sure, the writers can come up with something concrete, and then because it doesn't fit the vision of the director, or the team isn't capable of shooting that shot, or
the
whatever,
showrunners.
something just will go wrong and the script can change. You know?
That's true. Experienced a lot of that with The Witcher.
Really?
The writing in The Witcher and how Henry allegedly.
Mm.
Henry Cavill had a problem with how the script or where the script was going, and because he was such a passionate actor, he had beef with the writers, and they were like, you know what, this is your last season, and then that's actually why he got cut off and got replaced by Liam.
Damn.
Hey, don't have beef with him.
I've got beef with Mr. X Smiley Cyrus, bro.
X Smiley Cyrus? What am I missing?
Oh yeah,
I don't keep up with celebrities.
Yeah, they used to.
They used to be together. Miley Cyrus and
Yeah.
Liam Hemsworth.
Oh, Liam Hemsworth?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
The one in the Hunger Games.
Wait. I know Chris Hemsworth is Thor.
Yes.
Liam Hemsworth was in the Hunger Games as what's the character's name again?
See, I don't even know.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he was there. And then we have Luke. Those are the three brothers. But anyways, we are digressing.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So
We're
yeah,
digressing.
writing and the vision won't go hand in hand sometimes.
Yeah, it has to link. It has to be everyone firing on all cylinders to get to the same direction, you know?
True.
Yes.
That's a thing that happens on the set of films or in games, in books, all the time, where the team isn't cohesive. And I think that causes problems. Because someone's trying to tell one story while another person's trying to tell a different one. And it can never end well.
That's true.
So I think for representation to work, it has to work towards the end goal of the original story, you know?
True.
Rather than just being something that someone just, this looks nice. Let's have it in here as well.
Have it in there.
I mean, looking nice is also a nice factor. But again, y'all need to work well together. Both the designers and the writers need to.
Because the character, like you said, needs to be an interesting person. And for that to happen, they need to have all kinds of things working toward them being interesting and appealing. Like their props need to look cool. They need to make sense for the character that, you know, has these props. For example, I think if you have an engineer, right? Let's say it's a futuristic TV show, and for whatever reason they need an engineer. It's decades into the future, so they have like very advanced technology. This engineer would have things to match that level of technology,
Including a bandana.
What?
Including a bandana.
I don't know about all that. You see, that might be a thing.
Yeah.
Because now, let's say the engineer he's black, he's African.
Yes.
Yeah, we have Afro hair and we like bandanas, but I wouldn't wear one at work, you know. I'm wearing one at work right now, but that's a different thing. And as an engineer, you wouldn't, you know, just because it's a thing that black people do, that Africans people do, it isn't a thing that you do in that situation. So now the whole team needs to be aware of, the guy is in this place, he needs to act this way. He's in that place, he needs to act that way. And therefore, the character is accurately represented as a person rather than a caricature of a person, you know. Just because I am Negro doesn't mean I
Your
walk
knees
with
won't
a bucket
grow.
of chicken. Now what? No, it's like have you seen just where there's just out of place stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Where it just really takes away from the character's credibility and whatnot. You've built up a lot of emotion, characterization and stuff, and then you put in one thing that just, why is that there?
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
So, what would you say, right? Is a perfect representation or portrayal of, diversity and inclusion?
The perfect portrayal of diversity and inclusion.
Perfect.
I wouldn't say there's anything
not
perfect.
because nothing is ever perfect, but what feature film or game or comic do you think actually did it well enough for you to not have too many problems with it?
For me, I know that a lot of people are going to have gripes with it, but it is a Western Netflix not animated, but it is an adaptation of a comic book called The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. I know a lot of people had, I'd say, gripes with the way that they kind of portrayed said characters, which is also something that we kind of need to address, which is race swapping and gender swapping.
I don't know. We'll talk about that. Let's just put a pin in that one.
Yeah, but I feel like they kind of did that whole representation more or less well in terms of how they portrayed black characters as well as female characters, right? Although these characters are more or less non-existent, but they did it well. They did it well. And I think another one that I can say that actually really pushed that kind of thing well, I would have to say it is this show called Shadowhunters. Bad writing, by the way, guys. Guys, don't watch Shadowhunters. It has bad writing. But the way, but the way,
what are you telling us?
no, but the way that they represented said characters, they made them feel more human than just your typical gay best friend.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Bad writing.
Got a few actually. All right, if we're talking about Western media, we've got that Netflix show. What's it called? Sex Education.
Never watched it.
Oh, I actually did watch it. The producer, was it the producer or the director who is?
To not cause any confusion,
Yes.
just know that we had Mwanawevu
Yes.
on the show. Well, behind the scenes. I'm not sure if she was the producer or the scriptwriter or the director, but her name is Ruramai Mafumo. She did an amazing job on the last season for Sex Education.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, man, we are super proud of you.
Actually, she was
Super
also in
proud
season
of
2
you.
as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
So she's
she
been
directed
doing
a lot of the
It's
episodes.
a bag, Rua.
She's been
Get
doing
that
a great
guan.
job.
Yes.
Yeah. So like in the show, you've got like a proper rainbow kind of like setup.
Because
You've got your.
Oh no, continue.
You've got your.
Oh, you kind of lost the
Entirely
vibe now,
threw
eh?
her off, bro.
I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. You've got your token black friend who's also gay, but that's just not who he is. He's more, he's also like, oh yeah, it reminds me of the previous episode we were talking about. You guys did with the generic accent.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about first generation immigrants or something like that. I'm not quite
Yes.
sure.
He's
But
the
yeah.
second generation, right?
I don't know, man.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, but he's that. He's that.
But yeah, this dude named Eric is Nigerian, he's black, he's gay, but is more than that. And then you've got like your non-binary people, you've got women, you've got, it's a nice little setup of like inclusion because they try to highlight everyone's story and everyone's given like a chance to really just, it's not just, oh, you're non-binary, cool. Like they really dig deep into it, like why, like how did you become this person? Insert the why are you gay video.
Shout out Mr. Ozima.
But like yeah, that they did a really good job. And then you've got other shows like what's it called, man? I'm forgetting the name, but it's on Mzansi Magic if I'm not mistaken. One of these essay shows. Some people might say it's not good, but I think it's called, no man, it's not Scandal. Scandal is soapy.
Scandal's fire.
This is proper, like gangster. I think it's called The River or something like that. It's one of those items.
Yeah.
It's got Connie Ferguson in it, right?
Okay.
So she's a gangster, like proper gangster. She's
She's
like Al Pacino, bro. Like she's
the Don.
she's showing people that you can be a woman and be a thug too.
That's
like,
hard.
Like she's
Totally
like
possible.
top dog.
Shout out crime.
Top dog.
Guns are
Exactly.
not
Like
gender-specific.
exactly. Rated A for everybody. But like yeah, she did like a really good job portraying of how it's not just, if you're a woman, your place is not just in the kitchen. You can go chase that bag as well. Whichever way you're gonna do it.
That's true.
Whether you're gang banging
Or cooking.
or cooking, whatever you're cooking in the kitchen or in the studio,
Wherever
as
you
long
are.
as you're doing whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I liked that aspect. Like most of the stuff that Connie Ferguson does, she really portrays women in a very beautiful way. Unlike Tyler Perry. I'm not saying I don't hate that dude per se.
I can.
Right? Yeah.
Damn, what do you do to you?
A lot.
But
I
like,
sat through all of his
Oh,
movies.
you met him? Oh, okay.
oh, all of them, and yet you hate him.
Yes.
I mean, you
Yes.
a fan, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, you a fan for real.
It wasn't
real,
a
bro.
choice.
Films?
It wasn't a choice.
It
wasn't a choice.
You couldn't just close your eyes and look away.
Like, can you imagine, right? I just want to watch my Ben 10, right? I want to watch my Ben 10. Then all of a sudden, it's like the maid comes in and she's like, "Oh yeah, let's watch some Tyler Perry movies." I'm like,
Wait. You didn't have authority over the remote?
I do not have the authority over the remote.
Bro.
You were
Nah,
a
that's
lady,
mad
bruh.
thing.
Yeah.
That's
Shame,
crazy.
bruh. But you could have gone outside to play, bro.
F.
You could have done so
With
many
who?
things. You could have taken a nap, bro.
Good sir.
Bro, I was an active kid.
Bruh.
I was an active kid. I was jumping around. I was doing backflips.
speaking of jumping around and doing backflips, the representation I want to talk about is from a game, Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
Who remembers that character with the bow and arrow? What was his name?
Nightwolf?
No, Mortal Kombat, dude. I forget his name. It starts with an S or something, but whichever way. His character was very aggressive and arrogant and all kinds of things, like just really abrasive. Yes. And quite a lot of the time he was integral to the plot, but he wasn't really helping because he was too busy being aggressive, arrogant, blah, blah, blah. Yes. And that's a stereotype for the alpha male, you know? That's a stereotype for the super masculine man and stuff. Yeah. That character's gay.
Oh.
And that's a big arc in his thing. Like he was, I think, kicked out of, I don't remember what order it was, but it's like a martial arts order. The one Liu Kang is in. Is that White Lotus or something else? I'm not sure. Whichever way, he was kicked out of his kung fu school because of his gayness and stuff. They view it as taboo and whatnot. And that, while being a large part of his story, was not the only aspect of his character. You know, it didn't even, they went a step further and took out the generic gay actor or whatnot, the generic gay persona, and flipped it on its head, taking an alpha male and, you know, giving him the struggles of a gay person. So now it's like, it's very different to what we usually see to the stereotypes. You know?
Which is cool.
Yeah. It never comes across unless you look for it, unless you pay attention to the story and what's going on and whatnot in his life. You never really notice it. You know, he doesn't outwardly go around, you know, with his hands like this all the time.
Yeah.
None of that, you know.
Exactly, because being gay doesn't mean being
flamboyant.
Exactly. I mean,
although be flamboyant. I mean, guys, we need that drip. But,
but yeah.
The thing to hammer home with this is that with your characters, if you want to represent them, like Daniel said, make them an interesting person first, and don't tie their personality solely to whatever you're trying to represent.
Exactly.
You know, they should be a person before their whatever personality trait.
Exactly, just true. Oh, back to what I was saying about Tyler Perry.
Word.
So Colin Ferguson does this thing where she's like, you know, woman, you get your money, you know, you're also a woman at home, you're a mom, you're a sister, you're a daughter, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry, you're a woman. Either you are in an abusive relationship, right? You're in an abusive relationship.
Is that Diary of a Mad Black Woman?
Exactly. You're in an abusive relationship, or you're a loud woman who's angry and black, like very stereotypical, which is kind of weird because I mean he's black as well, but then he has like Medea.
He's trying to get white America's money.
I think so. It's another discussion about Hollywood and what, but like just how those two people. For me, Connie Ferguson, like I keep mentioning her name. I'm a huge fan. Not gonna lie, huge fan. But like those two people are like the anchors. Let's say the anchors, or like the pioneers of like shows and what for people that side. You know, Tyler Perry's got his own production company and what. And then Connie Ferguson has her own thing as well with her late husband, R.I.P. Shauna. And then, you know,
may he rest in peace.
True. Moment of silence. Yeah. So like how the two individuals portray women in particular, because usually when it comes to diversity, it's all about women. I mean, men as well, which is honest.
There's a question I'd like to ask. As a girl, how do you feel when the diversity takes a turn for the more fantastical, I guess? Like in a film where, let's say, there's a really, really strong dude, huge guy, towering. Let's say like he's in this room, his head would be hitting the ceiling, right? And there's a girl about Jerry's height who has to fight him. And now this girl, while she was struggling at first because, you know, the size difference and the strength difference and whatnot, she manages to, like, you know, poke him in the eye, and now he's powerless to stop her from just whacking him across the head. In situations like that, does it feel as though you've been accurately represented as a strong woman, or does it feel like kind of pandering? You know, does it...
Perfect example. For some reason, when you were mentioning this, I thought of that scene in Game of Thrones, Arya Stark versus the white dude.
I remember that.
White Walker, White King.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Like, sure, I mean, represent me as a strong, powerful person, but keep it realistic. You know,
technical.
My name is not David. I'm not gonna kill a Goliath. You know, that's a once in a millennia type of thing.
What's
Yeah,
a
I could be
millennia?
strong. I can like try to like throw a few punches in, but let it be realistic. Hongu tunofarelwa mafilm nokunyipirwa. But
Yeah, that is true.
I think
it needs to be.
It kind of comes
believable.
back to my point, right?
Exactly.
well, about
Interesting
that,
character. Yes, interesting character, right? It needs to be really practical, by the way.
I've been watching Invincible, so I wanted to say something about practical writing.
Disciplining a
Season
person,
one.
yes, disciplining children.
No, lol. It was the whole Mark versus his dad thing. Mark is the main character, and we're supposed to self-insert into Mark and be like, oh, we're this happy-go-lucky person who just got their powers and they want to change the world. But every time he tries to do that, he's met with like insurmountable obstacles.
Yep.
And that's quite accurate to real life. As much as you are strong, as much as you are
Gifted and talented and-
it's gonna suck.
Yep.
You
Especially
know?
being disciplined. I'm just saying.
Yeah, getting
just
thrown
saying.
through a mountain isn't fun.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of stuff that I think made Invincible so good, and what makes other things not as good.
Yes.
Because they take their rules. Like in episode 1, they set up a bunch of rules. Omni Man is the strongest. Mark is his son. Therefore, there's no conceivable way that Mark will ever win a fight with Omni Man in season 1. It's just not going to happen.
Exactly.
And it doesn't. So it gives it credibility. It grounds it in reality, in its own reality. And that's a good strength that I think everyone should work towards. Follow your own rules
Exactly.
in film.
True. Because what's this show, man? I'll keep bringing it back home to like, because we need to center it to like to to us. Because I know a bunch of people till this they haven't watched Invincible. Shame on you.
Some people
By the way,
also
do
haven't
add
watched
a spoil.
Kizazimoto.
Oh yeah,
What
yeah.
are you doing, bruh?
Watch Kizazimoto.
What are you
Please
doing?
do watch it. I have a lot of
After this
favorite
episode,
episodes.
though,
Made for us, by us.
Hey, I'm not Mukudze.
Mukudze, bruh.
You might have a cousin known as Mukfoot.
Ja Praiser. I know I'm not Mukudze. If his name is not Mukudze, now I can't know Mukudze. But I know there's a
There are too many
Mukudze.
Mukutzes in them, though.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Not
How
enough.
are you not watching Invincible when you have a Mukutse there?
Exactly.
Like you go holler at your homie Mukutse, watch the show and watch Mukutse, guys.
But yeah, what's that show? The Coconuts. The Coconuts in SA. They did a good job with like diversity in the sense of making sure that
People were well represented.
people are well represented. So the premise of that show is there's a white family that goes on vacation, and then they bump into this witch. I think I'm not quite sure.
Yes.
They bump into this witch, and then they switch. Something happens. Like they just don't get along, and then they end up
Getting switched with a
exactly
black family.
with a black family. So they wake up the next day and they're black. They're like, oh my god. So because they have to like live as a black person,
They see the experience.
they see the experience, and also like on the show they're really like portraying how difficult it is to live as the other. Like you could say, I'm a dude, I've got it tough, I wish my life would be easier. It would definitely be easier if I'm a girl, right? And then I, on the other hand, I'm saying, oh my gosh, I wish I was a dude. I could like pee anyway, anytime I want.
Why is that always the first thing?
Because that's what normally happens. But like you can't ever understand anyone unless you walk a mile in their shoes.
Exactly.
So when it comes to like diversity, bringing back to you and you, the writing can be done properly. But also I can't write the part of a white gay. Okay, I can't write something that I'm not.
Yeah, so
right?
people do say write what you know.
Exactly, write what you know. I can't write something that I'm not. I can't write an anime. I'm not Japanese for one. I like anime for sure, but like I don't know enough about the culture
To accurately represent it.
Exactly. So I need to do research, and a lot of people don't like reading. They don't like doing research. A lot of people are arrogant. They've got this whole I know behavior.
Yeah,
So
that is
there's
true.
no need for me to like do this. I've watched a YouTube channel. I've watched a documentary, dude. I already know what I need to know. I watched a TikTok, So like people just need to do research. We're not saying don't write what you don't know. You can always go for it, but you need to properly do the research. You need to, if you need to put on a wig to write the part of a woman, put on a wig, bro. Right. So you said you listen to a podcast.
Yeah, I'm more of a podcast person.
Shout out.
My brain does not work with like a whole bunch of text. I need pictures or audio. Anyway, my brother told me the story about a lady who worked in a coal mine for an experiment. I think she was a scientist of some sort, like of the psychological kind, and she was trying to understand how men think and the difference between men and women and their thoughts. And she noticed that the problems that women have that they're so passionate about, they don't translate to men because men don't have those problems. Just whatever it is like that is very specific to women. It's not even like a biological thing about the body. It's more about mentally, because you're going through different things biologically. That way, it then influences how you think.
Yes.
So she would talk about, oh, this thing sucks. The guys can't relate at all, and that then showed that there's a big gap between the man and the woman. So writing what you know is good, but at the same time, even when you do research things, you tend to find
experiences that you have versus the experiences that someone else's have. They don't really translate with each other.
Exactly. You find that it's hard to relate things.
That's true.
Because there's so much difference in the world.
Yeah, people could never have the same experiences. Even kids. You've got a brother, right?
Yeah.
You and your brother probably had the same childhood. Shout out
Similar
Steve. Yeah, the same childhood, but like totally different. If you say, oh no, do you remember when this happened? He'd be like, yeah, but like you remember it like totally different.
Yeah.
Same thing, same event, but you could never have like the same experience.
Exactly.
You both went out to eat ice cream. Yeah. But like for you it was like exactly like so it's a whole
you might have had a very good time, he might have had a very hard time.
Exactly.
Like imagine eating ice cream with a bug in it, and here you are slurping on that good vanilla.
You slurp your ice cream?
No, I don't. But can you imagine if you slurped on your ice cream?
I mean, but like you instinctively said slurp.
Yes.
Like, so you'd be out here just...
It's okay.
Guys. No. Okay, this is the second time this has happened. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Imagine that Cortina item with the heart.
Just one time. Yeah,
guys, stop it. Okay, this is the second time this has happened.
Hey man, these are your words, bro. Anyway, shout out to Cortina, sponsor the boy.
Yeah, shout out.
Please no.
Please no. It's getting hot out,
summer's coming, so like, yeah. But like, yeah, guys, like diversity and inclusion is really, really dope. It's something that
it can be amazing.
It can be amazing, and like we still have a long way to go. We've been struggling with it for the longest time since, the days of Hollywood and whatnot. However, I feel like wow, this really correlates with the last episode. With the whole generic accent and what.
It's about research.
Yeah, it's about research. And also, if you feel like you want to be included, just do your own thing. For example, Bollywood.
Yeah. Oh,
Nollywood. Because your typical Indian person in a Hollywood show or Hollywood movie,
they're an extra.
They're extra. They've got the really ridiculous kind of, like over the top Indian accent. And then you've got your
Bollywood, which actually represents them much more. We have all kinds of things. You have
you dropped right here, bro.
Oh, okay. Word.
So like, yeah, in Bollywood movies, I'll name drop my favorite one, Three Idiots. Like, it was really, really good. Like, it's not just, oh my gosh, it's an Indian dude. He's obviously good in tech. He's obviously, like that's
he's the customer service.
Yeah, customer service be like, what?
Stereotypical thing.
India,
yeah, but they're not outsourcing here.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, true. Zimworks, etc.
Yeah. But yeah, but like Bollywood does like a really, really good representation of themselves, and then you've got Nollywood. Nigerians in American shows or whatever, any other show that's not a Nollywood based,
they're either scammers or they're part of a weird African mafia.
Exactly.
Which is not right.
Exactly.
It's not right.
Because there's so
African
much
mafia
more.
Is very normal.
Exactly.
Yeah. African mafia is very normal.
Mafia.
It's not, guys. It's
Bro.
not.
It's like the whole syndicate is Africa, and there's like the one true goon who's like Don African. No, that doesn't work. But like, if you feel like you're not being represented well,
make your own stuff.
Yeah, it's tough out here, but like we need more filmmakers. Zim, we have filmmakers, but we need more. We need you guys to do more. We need
Africans
you guys
rise.
to push. Exactly.
There was a quote I remember. I think it's this British rapper called Stones. He said, he used worse words than what I'm about to say because it's TV. But he said, I never ask for validation, I'll validate myself.
Exactly.
And that's what we should do.
Exactly. So this whole thing of, but also, I mean, I don't know if we have time, but like also, music wise, right?
They don't pick good music in African movies, like in African movies.
That's also a gripe that I have.
I'm so moody, bro. Like, there are too many random generic Janos tracks on these videos when you could put so much more.
Bro, there's an episode of Blood and Water. I'm so sorry to cut you off, but it was such like a surreal scene. Like it's a very emotional scene. I think Fikile had like
And there's Janos.
exactly, bro. Like for someone that is playing Gome and bro, like you're there, you're crying. Oh my gosh, and then you're just saying and like, bro, like. What's the correlation? Like Netflix, you guys really disappointed me with that one. I'm not gonna lie.
I keep dropping.
You guys disappointed so much. But what Jerry was saying, very, very true. Yeah. People need to work on the music that they select.
Yeah,
that is true.
They really, really do need to work on the
music. It's
music.
really everything.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Like, representation isn't only acting.
Exactly.
It's absolutely everything. And that needs to get better for us to get content that feels, African. Naturally, authentically African.
Exactly.
You know what is naturally, authentically African? This show.
Oh, yes, definitely, man.
Yes.
I was going to say Kizazi Moto, but we talk about that too much over here.
Yeah. You talk about it too much.
Hey, I'm a big fan. Bro.
Exactly.
To be honest, you can never talk too much about it.
Yeah.
True.
Because if something is good, I mean.
But anyways, if you want to continue this topic right now, comment section. It's your friend.
Oh, yeah, that exists.
Yeah, it exists.
Yeah,
did you know that?
YouTube
I bet you didn't.
Be nice to each other down there, yeah?
Yeah, please don't be toxic.
Please keep it civil.
Yes, civil. Guys,
we
civil.
don't want any civil wars.
What was a good film that, represented you? Where are you from? Where are you watching from?
As well as experiences, man. I think Boys Afraid was one for me.
Boys
but that's another one. That's another.
What are you afraid of?
Hakeem Phoenix, Ari Aster, they did a thing.
No, man. You're afraid of Hakeem Phoenix?
No, I'm a fan. No. Like, I mean, yes, I am. I'm also a fan of Ari Aster, but...
Okay,
no,
you're missing what I... Yeah, because you said Boys Afraid. What are you afraid of, my boy?
So to wrap things up, please feel free to go in the comment section
and tell us what you're afraid of.
Yeah. But like,
no.
Daniel won't.
Before we cut off, like, what's your favorite representation besides the game?
Kizazi Moto would definitely.
Yeah, so yeah.
Kizazi Moto?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
There's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
Nothing else African has made me feel that way.
Shout out Mukude.
Shout out
Mkuzi. Mkuzi went crazy.
Oh, Mkuzi went crazy, bro. Like, it reminded me so much of
Wacky Racist.
Bruh. And that other item, what's it called, man?
The one with the totem.
I liked that one. Yeah. I liked that episode. Like, I'm so bad with the episodes, but like all the episodes in Kizazi Moto,
fire.
Chef's kiss.
So please do watch it after this video.
Cartoon Network adapt Mkuzi into a full-length show. Please.
No, seriously, guys, watch it.
Mkuzi, full-length.
Cartoon Network on a Disney.
No. Something to Cartoon Network.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, come to us. We'll show you the ropes. Yes. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a blast. We'll catch you next time, same time, someplace. I might not be here, but gang.
Tell a friend to tell a
friend. Gang.
Share the link.
Yeah. I know, right?